Just 2 verses after their abductions, we find the Cain women becoming the de facto heads of the Seth families. Coming are those who are sons of God, Seth men, to the daughters of the human, Cain women, and they bear for them. Genesis 6:4. The Cain women bear the children of the Seth men. The question, who raises the children? The forthcoming judgment of the flood tells us that not only did the Cain women raise the children, they indoctrinated them in the way of Cain and in their own brand of idolatry. Greek artists show us that, in the face of their abductions, the Cain women clung to their idolatry. Jacques Carré's drawings from the Parthenon show a Seth man seizing a Cain woman, as other threatened Cain women take refuge with their idol image. From part of the ruins of the Temple of Apollo, we see the reaction of the threatened Cain women. In the midst of the chaos caused by the Seth men taking whomever they choose, the Cain women protect their idol image and cling desperately to it. Their devotion to the man-exalting way of Cain never wavered, even long after their abductions. The idol image to whom the Cain women resort is most likely Eve, whom the Greeks later worshipped as Hera, the mother of all. The Cain women raised their children by the Seth men to honor such idolatry. The Seth men failed to subject their Cainite wives and their children to God. Thus, the taking of the Cain women by the Seth men led to godless offspring throughout the Seth families. It was then that God said to Noah, "The era of the end of all human flesh is come before me. For full is the earth with wrong because of their presence. Now behold me ruining them with the earth." Genesis 6:13. The worldwide flood that wiped out the line of Cain, save for one woman we are about to identify, was part of the Greeks' collective cultural memory. Greek artists depicted the flood in sculpture and painting as centaurs pounding a man named Cainius into the earth. That is how they remembered the flood, as Cainius, meaning the line of Cain, disappearing into the earth at the hands of the centaurs. In this partially damaged vase scene from about 600 BC, the artist has written the name Cainius, representing the line of Cain disappearing into the earth during the flood. In the ancient Greek manuscripts of the New Testament, Cain is spelled in uppercase letters, just as it is on the vase. Greek artists painted the scene over and over. On all kinds of vases. It was their day of infamy. Like the American Pearl Harbor, an event they always remembered and would avenge in the post-flood age. In this instance, and many others, the artists are not depicting Greek history, but rather the history of the human race from the standpoint of the way of Cain they embraced. The flood itself brings us back to the woman from the line of Cain who survived it. Who was she, and how did she manage to do it? Let's first find out who she was. Simple genealogy is the key to identifying the woman from the line of Cain who came through the flood. Chapter 4 of Genesis gives us the names of the successive eldest sons of Cain. We should note that the name of Cain's great-grandson, Mehujael, means wipe out God, and shows how corrupt and man-centered the line of Cain had become by the fourth generation. In the sixth and next to last generation from Cain, Lamech takes two wives, Adah and Zillah, the first mention of women's names in the line of Cain. Lamech by Adah begat sons named Jabal and Jubal. Lamech by Zillah begat Tubal-Cain, but that is not the end of the line of Cain. There is one more sentence, and it is this. And the sister of Tubal-Cain is Naamah. In this seemingly insignificant sentence lies one of the most profound secrets of Scripture and of the human race. Virtually no one, including most historians and religious leaders, recognizes her name or grasps the profound influence she has had on our post-flood age. In the pre-flood age, Naamah is the last mentioned direct descendant of her great-great-great-great-grandfather Cain. If she is not the woman who came through the flood, we have to wonder why she is mentioned at all, but she is the one, there is no doubt about it. A revealing 782-page book, The Myth of the Goddess, Evolution of an Image by secular scholars Anne Baring and Jules Gashford, supplies confirming evidence. In their book, Baring and Gashford trace back most of the goddesses from the Near Eastern and Mediterranean world. Astarte, Ishtar, Inanna, Lama, Asherah, Athena, Demeter, Artemis, Mot, and Isis, to a single original goddess. Her name, Namu. Vowels are the most unstable part of any language. In the ancient languages, U is the least stable. The ancient Sumerian Namu is the Naamah of Genesis. But how did Naamah make it through the flood? Naamah married Noah's son Ham, whom Greek artists depicted as the friendly Centaur, or Sethman Chiron. Note that the artist gives Chiron the full body of a man. In this way, Chiron, or Ham, was made to stand out from all the other Centaurs, or Sethmen. The Greek Chiron is depicted in a radically different way from all the other Centaurs because he is Noah's son, Ham, who came through the flood on the ark and brought with him as his wife a Cainite woman, Naamah. Greek artists humanized Chiron. As a friend to the Cainites, he is never depicted in anything but an unthreatening pose. The Greeks called Noah's son Ham Chiron because it means hand, and suggests that Chiron gave an early helping hand to the development of Zeus religion after the flood. Mythologist Edward Tripp wrote, Chiron differed from other centaurs in his nature. They were barbaric and unrestrained in their habits. Chiron was one of the wisest and most learned of living beings. An apt description of one of Noah's sons. On this ancient gold pectoral ornament, the artist has depicted Chiron Ham as an Egyptian. Scripture and legend both say that after God confounded mankind's one language into many at the Tower of Babel, Ham settled in Egypt. The Psalms refer to God's marvelous works in Egypt, calling it the country of Ham. On this ancient vase, we see Chiron as fully human in the front. He is well dressed. Next to his head, the painter has written his name, Chiron, or in English, Chiron. Chiron carries dead game and an ancient weapon he has used to kill the animals. There is no indication mankind ate meat before the flood. Chiron's game may pertain to God's provision for eating animals in the New Age. Chiron is often depicted on Greek vases carrying dead game. This may signify that he was the first man to kill animals for food after the deluge. As early as the 7th century before Christ, Greek artists painted the pre-flood courtship and marriage of Ham and Nama, whom the Greeks called Chariklo. Here, Ham takes Nama's wrist, a sign that she is to be his bride. This drawing of an equally ancient painted scene shows Ham kneeling humbly before Nama, looking away as if he were unworthy of her. This is clearly a proposal scene. Courtship leads to marriage. On this vase, an enamored Ham escorts a coy Nama in their wedding procession. Ham in Hebrew means warm, signifying his warmth and friendliness towards the Cainites. As we've seen, the meaning of Ham's name in Greek is hand. He gave the line of Cain a helping hand in its resurgence. On the vase, Ham's hand on Nama's shoulder is helping her move forward. Nama in Hebrew means pleasant, lovely, or gracious. Nama's Greek name, Chariklo, means graciousness. Nama and Chariklo are one and the same woman. Note that Chiron Ham is depicted as a scraggly creature whose demeanor and dress contrast sharply with the impeccable appearance of his Cainite bride. She wears the tiara of a princess or queen. His hair is unkempt, and he wears not civilized clothes, but an animal skin. The artist thus tells us that he is clearly inferior, not at all worthy of her. This artist does not give Ham Chiron his normal full front of a man. It is not necessary for identification here. In Greek art, no other centaur is ever depicted behaving so genteelly toward a woman, or is ever depicted as marrying one.